everybody. Well, it's just another manic Monday. Wish it were a Sunday. That's my fun day. Well, I can't sing to save my life. So we decided to bring on a very talented singer and actor called Andrea Jeremiah. I know you're well aware of who she is. Well, she has launched her maiden album. It's called Flavors. And let's talk about Andrea Jeremiah and the Jeremiah Project. And on this lovely album that's called Flavors. So I'm just going to send her a request to join us. And well, she's a very familiar face. And do keep your questions coming. And we'll ask Andrea to answer those. And I'm just waiting for her to come on board. Thank you, everybody, for those of you who have joined us. So, well, Andrea will tell us what Flavors is all about. And can't wait to hear the same. And yeah, she is. Hi. Finally. Hi, how are you?
Hi,
I'm very well,
I'm good.
and it's just
How are
the
you?
perfect person to beat our Monday blues, as I say. We could do with a little bit of music, and basically, music is life, as they say. So, many congratulations first. So, can't wait to ask you what is Flavors all about. So, could you please tell us about that? And it's in collaboration with the Jeremiah Project, if I've got that right.
Well, the Jeremiah Project is the name
Oh, I
of my
got
band.
seven.
It's a
I think I
band of
got the
five
number wrong.
boys. No, it's five plus
Oh,
me,
okay.
plus the
All
sound
right.
engineer becomes seven. But yeah,
Okay.
on stage, there's six of us, five plus me. Yeah. And each of them are insanely talented musicians and also very busy. And we've been playing together for a really long time. And so Flavors came about because during the lockdown we all had a lot of free time on our hands, and we actually finally managed to each person recorded in their own home studios, and then I recorded my vocals, and then the mix engineer was working. So it was each person was working in isolation in the second half of the lockdown. That's pretty much how the album happened. And these are songs that I've written from across the years, basically, ever since I was a teenager,
Oh, wow.
right up until now. So yeah. So yeah, So we just like picked songs from across the years, and
Like when
it happened.
Andrea was looking at her teenage self and writing, and what was that like to revisit it again?
Sleepwalking is a song that I wrote when I was a teenager. It's on the album, and yeah, it's what's really interesting and fascinating is that a lot of people seem to like it, and a lot of it seems to resonate with a lot of people, which is interesting because when I was a very melancholic teenager, I was this moody, broody, writing poetry and just spending a lot of time by myself. So the fact that something I wrote back then actually resonates with a lot of people now
But
makes me feel
all
happy.
teenagers go through that. It's early now. We are addressing.
Yeah, but you just feel like you're alone in it.
I
That's
just feel
the
a lot of
yeah.
people talk about the feelings that all of us suppressed now more so. And after the pandemic, I think we can thank the pandemic for that. People are more vocal. So, other than this, tell us a bit more about the other tracks.
It's each song. If you listen to the album, each song is in a different subgenre. Even though the main umbrella is pop, but one song is a bit like in a bossa jazz feel. Another one is in like a soft rock feel. Another one is funk. So it's because I think the musical influences that me and all members of the band have grown up with. It kind of, filtered in through the process of making these songs. And the writing is mostly about falling in and out of love. And that's why we named it Flavors also, because the title track is called Flavors of Your Love. And we thought each song has a different flavor to it. So that's
Absolutely.
why
And
we decided
somebody's
to make the album
asked,
famous.
which is your favorite track out of the ones in flavor?
Yeah, that's a tricky one. Of course, I love flavors. I really do. But I also like Pull Me Back. It's because I like songs of that tempo when I'm driving like a long empty highway and it's just, you're driving at 100 and it's nothing, just you, the music and the road. So for me, Pull Me Back is that kind of a song. It's a very road trip song. It's a very road trip
Somebody just
song.
written that they like the
That's why I like
flavor
it.
remix version a lot.
Ah, yes, that was done by this guy called Hari Diffusia. He heard the song a while back and he decided to do a very cool remix of it. So we asked him if we could, release it along with the album, and he was kind enough to say yes. So it's a very very cool. He's a
Well,
musician
you're
based
an
out of
actor
Toronto,
as well.
actually.
You are a musician as well. So are they similar, these two facets to your personality? And where do you draw your influences from?
Um, I think, at the answer to this question has varied over time. So many years ago, when people asked me, which one would you pick, acting or singing? I would be like, I pick singing any day. Now, when people ask that question, I say, it's like asking me to choose between my two eyes. How do you do that? Because I've come to realize over time that the creative energy is essentially the same, and these are all just various outlets for that energy. And of course, they're not entirely similar. Acting is a long drawn out process in the sense it's like you invest, you give a lot, you give a lot, you give a lot, and the end result comes much, much, much later. And whereas music is instant gratification, and I think that's what I love about it the most. It's immediate gratification. And the joy of being on stage with a crowd
And
is
also,
untouchable.
composing and creativity is actually a very lonely job. Because, it's you and your head.
Acting is a lonely job
Yeah,
too.
because that's what
Acting is
creativity,
a
any
lonely
creative
job
profession,
too.
people look at the glam and you see surrounded by people and your Insta followers, but actually it's a very, very lonely profession. So, and I'm sure you have these voices in the head, this, that. How critical are you with your work? I mean, do you revisit it? Do you hear and say, oh my God, I should have done this differently? What is it like?
I'm very critical of my work. Probably why I haven't released
My
an
God.
album in all these years. Because I always thought, no, it's not good enough. We need to polish it a bit. And I think the lockdown taught me that you know you have to seize the moment and you just have to do things and not worry so much about what's going to happen. you know I think that was a good lesson. So yeah, I'm trying not to be as critical as I used to be, but I'm still
No,
pretty
that's okay. That's, I think,
demanding.
people who are perfectionists tend to do that. Somebody's asked, when did you actually realize that you have this talent in you to be a singer? And what came first, acting or singing? Which bug bit you first?
I never thought of myself as a singer because when you do something all your life, you don't it's like second nature to you. So I've been singing ever since I can remember. So I
Yeah.
never thought of it as a talent. It's just something that came naturally, like breathing or like just walking around. And this is not to say that I'm the best singer. That's not the case at all. But I think for me, it really must be a gift because I haven't done much. Of course, when I was a kid, I used to sing in a lot of choirs, and I think that was my foundation. Being a Catholic girl and going to a Catholic school, there's a
You
lot of choir
hands
singing,
like this.
and I did do. Very much so, yes. And then, of course, I did some formal piano, classical piano lessons for a long time, all through my school years, actually. So I think that's kind of the foundation. That's what laid the foundation. And when I was a kid, I was part of this group called Young Stars, and we used to perform on stage a lot of these musicals, like these Andrew Lloyd Webber musicals, which are actually great. They're really good writing. The music is great. So I used to go to two schools, I think. I used to go to regular school, and then after 3 p.m., I would go to this other school where it was just about music and, being on stage. So that was my childhood. So acting came much,
And
much later.
also a lot of people saying somebody's written they're waiting for your Telugu songs. Somebody's written when are we going to see you next? And I think maybe I don't have my specs on Plaso 2. Dennis Palazzo 2. Sorry, maybe I've got the name wrong. Uh,
Yeah,
sorry, I don't have
Pisasi.
my specs. I'm like, what is it? What is it? Yeah, so these are the questions.
Yeah, I fingers crossed it's coming out soon. It's all done. It's gonna be a great film as and
Wow.
when it comes out. I'm very
So
proud of it.
how is Andrea the singer different from Andrea the actor?
Andrea the singer is a lot more like carefree and like chill.
Yeah.
I'm always having fun when I'm singing. I always think any shows, I feel like it's like a paid vacation for me because it's so much fun. I get to do what I love and I get paid for it, and I'm like, oh, this is the life. But acting is a lot of hard work. Like I really slum it out, and I get, because also maybe I'm attracted to these really heavy duty roles that really takes a lot out of me physically and emotionally. Of course the gratification is immense, but probably why singing is like the happier side of me and acting is the
Wow.
most serious dark
I mean,
side.
yes, you do gravitate towards those heavy roles, and people would think that, she is that person, but no, you're a chilled out person. But it's nice, there's actors can live any life, and there are always two facets to someone's personality because sometimes acting helps you delve in.
But also, I think my music is what keeps me grounded as a person. Otherwise, being an actor, it's very easy to get caught up in the bubble that is cinema. And, because you're made to feel so important and, like the world revolves around you. But that world is really very small. When you step out in the real world, it's not the case. So I think being a musician has grounded me in some way.
Wow.
And it's a
There
good
we
thing.
need you more in Malayalam films too.
I want to do also Malayalam films. I will.
Because
I will
it's
soon.
amazing,
Hopefully.
Andrea. The way I'm actually very happy in the lockdown, as you said, you made your music, but also in the lockdown, people outside the South, they are translated as North, discovered the vast bounty of Southern content. I, I never
I,
sleepwalking through
I was saying the same.
viewing films or what, but they suddenly seem to have woken up.
Especially the Malayalam film industry, I think benefited the most. And of course, Telugu, Pushpa, and all these brilliant, like the reception has just been brilliant, and it's great because I think it's about time also. For too long Indian cinema has been Bollywood cinema, but it's not. Bollywood is one part of Indian cinema. There's a whole lot more to it, and I think it's about time India discovered it, and then the
No, I
world, the
don't.
rest of the world will
You
follow
because
suit.
Indian cinema would only be
Yeah.
discussed at international film festivals. Pan India, it would come in the regional category. I don't know why, and Bollywood was taken as the cinema of India, which is not so. That's
But that
absolutely changing, and
is changing.
how and how.
Yeah.
But growing, I was discussing music. Who were you listening to? Who were you vibing with? What was your vibe? Because these days you see like the way it's going. I mean, I belong to the Wham and AHA generation, but now I'm also getting used to the Taylor Swifts and the, Harry Styles and, getting used to it. Who were you vibing with?
Um, that's the thing. I had different musical influences at different times in my life. When I was a kid, when I was like a really little kid, my mom used to listen to a lot of country music. Yeah. So there used to be, obviously when I'm a kid, it's I have to listen to what my mom is playing, not what I and So I used to listen to a lot of country music when I was a little kid. Um, and then when I was in, as I was started growing up, there was a lot of choir influences, gospel music happening, like proper church gospel music. And then when I was in high school, I used to listen to a lot of like pre-high school, in that age. I discovered the three divas, which were Celine Dion, Whitney Houston, and Mariah Carey. So at a time when most people my age were listening to Britney Spears, I was like, please, these are my idols. And I used to sing along with those CDs and annoy the crap out of my mom. And she'd be like, can you stop making that
Wow.
noise? Stop it. So I used to sing along on repeat with I remember all the CDs with Celine Dion, Mariah Carey, Whitney. I just keep singing along with it. And a little later in life, I discovered jazz. And that opened up. It was
Yeah.
like a whole new world for me. And I never took um, you name it, like Ella Fitzgerald, Sarah Vaughan, and interestingly enough, I used to listen to more than vocalists. I used to listen to a lot of um, jazz musicians like Miles Davis, John Coltrane, Bill Evans. Um, More than the Frank Sinatras, these are the guys I used to listen to, and the musicality of it really. And then, and then later, I started you know I think I managed to find the middle ground between hardcore jazz and pop, mainstream pop, and find that sweet
Wow.
meeting point, you know because you got to make music that people actually
Totally.
listen to.
And I so resonate with what you've said because I also, you give me back my 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s. It's my happy space because, there's a lot of music now, great music being made, but then also the shelf life. Them were one hit.
Yeah, music now is meant to be for that time only. There's few songs made now that are
Absolutely.
going to be called classics. The
And the other day,
classics,
somebody told
yeah.
me, like, wake me up before you go is now vintage. I was like, really? It's vintage now. And even I want to dance with somebody because I remember the day that music video came, back in the day, of her wearing earrings and wearing that. That was the time when I was in school.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, it's vintage now. So great. But absolutely. If there was a singer, if I was to ask if you could go back in town and maybe go back in time and collaborate with or maybe recreate that song, which one would that be? You have one choice. Oh, wow. Which one?
Michael Jackson. I mean, I don't care, man. I would sing chorus for his song. I don't. It's Michael Jackson. I mean, that's not because my favorite female artist would be Aretha Franklin. But if you say that if there was one person in time that I could go back and meet and collaborate with, it would have to be Michael Jackson. He is he is something else. He goes beyond music. He's a phenomenon. And I think most people of my generation, our regret is that, damn, we didn't get to see him live. It's
I mean,
like,
I get to see him
oh,
live perform,
yeah,
but I got to see his performances whenever he would, because that was the music we were growing up with. So yeah, Michael Jackson any day, yeah. The way you make me feel, man in the mirror, heal the world, and that lovely song from Free Willy, I still sob when I hear it. So,
the way, I mean, it's not just him, of course, it was his entire team of producers and everything, but he was on the cusp of when digital music happened in the world. So he ushered in the era of digital music. And that's why he's so special.
absolutely.
And
But
that's
the
why there'll
music
never be
scene
another
now in
Michael
India,
Jackson.
what is the one change that you really want to see? Because I do see a lot of independent artists coming up. Also, there are labels wanting to invest. People have made the kind of film music being made because three composers working on one film, and you don't get that vibe. You don't feel for the project as you used to back in the day. What is the one change you, as a singer, now we are not discussing acting, I want to see going forward when it comes to your craft?
I've said this before, I'll say it again. I want to see the day when the music industry in India is independent of the film industry. That's what I want to see. Because, right, the music industry is riding piggyback on the film industry, and that's really sad. It shouldn't be the case. It should be like a happy marriage of give and take. That's what it should be. But where each industry stands on its own, and that's, to put it in a nutshell, that's what I would want to see. And definitely, I think it's happening. It's coming
Absolutely. Thank you
for
so much.
sure.
And before we go, could you hum something for us? Because a lot of people have been requesting anything you want to hum.
Aha. Okay, let me hum a few lines of oh, they want Who's Andrea. Hey man, this is about my album, so you don't get to hear. I'll sing a few lines from the first song on my album is called 24/7, and it's a very lovely little ballad. So I'll just sing a few lines of that before I go. From the moment I wake up until I go to bed, oh boy, I got you stuck inside my head. When I'm sitting around doing nothing much, I smile at the thought of the way you kiss me, the way you hold me, the many different ways you make love to me. Makes me wonder what my life was about before you came along. Oh, loving you is all I ever think about 24/7. Ooh, being with you is all I wanna do. You're my one-way ticket to heaven. It's so amazing. I'm like a drug queen, getting high on your love. Oh, loving you is all I ever think about 24/7. Your love is my state of mind.
Thank you so much. All the very best. All the very best. Thank you. Our pleasure. Pleasure was
Thank
mine.
you for
Thank
having.
you so much.
Bye.